welcome back. Today, I'll be sharing 10 decisions we've made which helped us save money for the renovation. At the end, I will also show you guys the breakdown of the total amount of money we have spent on our new home. Without further ado, let's get started. You might already know that a huge part of Reno costs actually comes from the built-in carpentries. Understanding this, our goal from the start was to keep carpentry minimal. So we only had our L-shaped wardrobe, kitchen cabinets, and toilet cabinets custom built. It is really popular to get toilet cabinets from Taobao nowadays, but we didn't do so because the quote our contractor gave was pretty reasonable for the custom-made ones. So for the other parts of the house, they are just pretty much furnished with loose pieces. For example, the area outside the kitchen, many had built extended carpentry to create this little nook corner, but we just used various pieces from Taobao to create it. It's pretty common to build carpentry around the bomb shelter area to actually enclose the door. But we didn't want to spend more money on it, so we just left it as it is and decorated it a little to make it look nicer. So similarly for my living room, there is no built-in carpentry or feature wall for the TV, so everything's just loose pieces again. We kept our curtains simple by having just a layer of day curtains in the living room and the hack-down room. We prefer to keep these areas bright and airy, so we don't need another layer of fabric curtains. But do make sure that your block is actually not too near another block to be able to do this. If not, you might have some privacy issues. But generally, I feel that day curtains should be enough and sufficient to actually block off some sight. So the third point is to keep HDB default items as much as possible. If you have the budget to upgrade the default BTO drying rack to the automated system, go ahead. But if you don't, like me, please be assured that this works fine too. My service yard is pretty dark and doesn't have a lot of light shining through, but I feel that my clothes dry up pretty fine. I know a lot of people actually hate the default Eco toilet bowl because of the ugly tab. I do care a lot about aesthetics too, but after all, it's just toilet bowl. If it helps to save water, why not? And do you know that toilet bowls are actually pretty expensive? So to change out 2 toilet bowls, it will be quite a cost to cover. I actually really wanted to keep the sinks too, but my contractor said that they can't build around the original sink, so I had to give it up. We kept almost all the doors that we opted for, except for the bathroom doors which we decided not to keep due to various reasons. To think of it, I'm actually glad that we changed out the bathroom doors because I realized the doors are not waterproof and my common toilet is actually a very wet area. So yeah, good decision made. Our gate and main door are also intact, and we actually wanted to change the DB doors to wood laminated ones, but we dropped the idea while doing some cost cutting. I'm sure that you guys already know that vinyl is one of the most affordable materials that we can use for our floorings. Here are some cost-saving tips for vinyl flooring. While herringbone arrangement of vinyl looks really good, this type of special arrangement actually costs more. So to save money, we just have it the normal way. Some ID might recommend you to use different vinyl for different rooms, but we just kept to one design as the prices go by the amount of same material ordered. It also helps to make our house look spacious with the coherent flooring. Instead of quartz top, we actually use compact glass for our kitchen countertops. If you don't like the typical thin look of compact glass, you can ask your contractor to make use of downturn technique to make it look like a block of wood. Not only compact glass is cheaper, I also find that stains are easily removed from it. Some people use compact glass as their toilet countertops too. However, we chose quartz for the toilets as the amount of materials needed is small and the price was reasonable. Buying furniture from Taobao and IKEA to save money is definitely not something new, but I really had to include this point because it is a major factor in helping me save money for the entire renovation. I do have an entire video about my Taobao furnitures, so do take a look if you're interested. Glass do make a house look expensive, and that's because glass works are expensive. So the only glass work I have in the entire house is my one-sided shower screen in my common toilet. I've seen many people who hack down their room like us build a foldable glass panel door to divide the two spaces. First of all, I do find it a little bit dangerous if you have kids who are very active, and secondly, it is not cheap to build something like that. So if you can afford this hack space to be opened up fully, I don't think a glass door is actually needed. Our contractors actually recommended us to change out the grid panels in our bathrooms, which we did because it might be very dusty if we don't. Like many IDs, my contractor recommended us to install lights in the panels as they are already lighting points and it will make the bathroom look more luxurious. But we didn't feel the need to pay installation fees just for that. It might be small money, but it actually accumulates. We only installed one main light in the master toilet and it is already bright enough. I have ceiling fan lights installed in most of my rooms and I highly recommend it. The cooling effect is definitely better than standing fans that take up space. For example, where I'm standing to video this fan, I can actually feel the wind. Perhaps you will switch on the aircon less frequently, and this will help to save money in the long run. Last but not least, not only it's 2-in-1, installation is usually complimentary from local stores, so you can save some installation costs to your contractor. So while doing my research, I do realize that interior designers like to suggest owners to do false ceilings. Having false ceilings means that you can play around with cove lights that give your house more ambience. I'm sure that there are other benefits too, but me being really practical about lights and all, false ceilings were never really part of my plan. I actually have a little downlight installed beside my ceiling fan, but I actually never on it at all, so I doubt I'll on the cove lights even if I have them. That's the end of the 10 points, so let's take a break before we move on to the cost breakdown. I've shared many things about Hometrust in my past videos, and today I would like to round it up with a summary. The very first thing I shared about was their search function and also their review system where you can read unbiased reviews on the IDs you're interested in. I also showed my love for their categorization of project showcase for you to find inspiration based on your needs and criteria. Also, don't forget their articles which you can read for your research. In my Reno regrets video, I also talk about the forum they have where you can interact with other homeowners. And they also have an events tab where you can check on upcoming ID and Reno events. Do follow Hometrust on Instagram too so you don't miss any updates from them. Thank you Hometrust for sponsoring this video. Now let's get to the last part of this video, which is the cost breakdown of my new house. So my very first budget projected for the renovation was 30k, but the first quote that came back to me from my contractor was around 34k. And 34k wasn't even inclusive of floor screeding, which I am totally unaware of, and it's also not inclusive of kitchen top cabinets because there's some miscommunication between me and my contractor. So after adding these two in, the quotation was around 38k. So after taking out all the things that we decided to forego to bring down the amount and also confirming the materials that we will be using for all the carpentry, the final amount is 36k. So do note that while the renovation is ongoing, the cost of it will just fluctuate up and down while you make decisions along the way. Even though this is 6K away from my initial budget, it is around $2,000 away from the initial quote from the contractor, so it is still pretty reasonable to me. Initially, while budgeting for electronics, I wanted to keep the budget low, but it is something my husband is passionate about, so he was willing to spend extra money on electronics. So this is the breakdown of what we've gotten. So majority of the money went to air conditioners, and I realized how difficult it is to save on air conditioning because I actually bought pretty standard ones, not like the high-end ones, and it already cost that much. So I guess the pricing is pretty standard, but if you have any alternatives that you find cheaper, please share it below in the comments. The next biggest expense went to the TV and also the fridge. My husband really wanted a big TV and I really wanted a made in Japan fridge, so I guess this is where you can actually cut down the expense if you really want to. Just get cheaper models and don't be like us. Please note that this is exclusive of the smaller electronics we bought after we moved in, such as the Robot Rock and also the air purifier. And for the IKEA furnitures, we actually spent $2,400 around there, and the bulk went to the king size bed frame, the mattress, and the island table. So for many things, I felt like this price is really affordable. Breaking down my Taobao haul, the first batch that consists of sanitary fittings and lights cost around $1,700 and the shipping was around $600. Do note that this consists of my really huge bathtub that I shipped from Taobao. So the second batch is my furnitures, which is around $3,000 and $1,300 for the shipping. The notable big items that came in this batch were the sofa, the wooden cabinet, chest of drawer, etc. So the third batch that consists of my decor, small furnitures, and also some household products cost around $840 and the shipping was $200 around there. So my curtains are actually sponsored by my dad, so I did not include it in my cost breakdown, but for your information, it should cost around less than $1,000. So the grand total was around $58,000. I believe the actual amount should be slightly more than 60K due to the small expenses that we did not keep track of, and also some purchases that we've made after moving in. I hope this video is useful to you, and if you have any questions to ask me, please comment below or DM me on Instagram. See you!